So today I'm here with episode 4 of my F125 My Team career with Apxgp, and today we have the 4th race of the season at the Bahrain Grand Prix. And for this race I'm going to be driving as Joshua Pierce. So now we're into qualifying here. I just want to quickly show you my setup because I've made a couple of changes. So I've upped the front wing angle from 23 to 27 because I just felt like I wasn't getting enough bite on the front end, but I think that has solved it. And I've upped the rear wing from 23 to 24 because I just wanted that little bit extra downforce on the rear end. It was a tiny bit slidey. And for that same reason I've also upped the rear toe from 0.18 to 0.19. So about to come across the line for our first lap in Q1. And I did a practice lap in practice on qualifying. And I found that you can use the overtake basically the whole way round on the straight. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm basically using overtake on the whole straight, every straight, and it's going to give me the extra speed that I need. Bit slow through there, I felt though. Now we just got the run to the line here. So let's see where I'm going to be in the end of Q1. Well, after my first lap in Q1, I mean. And I am 3rd so far, so that's pretty good. I've just realised I think I've accidentally selected the softer lineup for the tyre allocation because I do only have one set of mediums for the race. So I'm only going to use these 4 sets of softs in qualifying. I'm going to keep one for the race, so that can replace the mediums. But the soft is a race tyre you can use around Bahrain, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue around this track. But now, after everyone has completed their first laps, I am 4th, so that's pretty good. And I'm pretty much a second and a half ahead of Albon at the cutoff, so I think I should be all right not to do another lap. And I was all right with just that one lap because that's us through to Q2. I'm starting Q2 on the scrub set I used in Q1, so hopefully these can get me a decent banker lap. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, even for a scrub lap, that didn't feel great. I know it said I went purple in sector 1, but I think that's just because I did an early lap. But I am currently 9th with that lap, so maybe it wasn't so bad. So now I'm out for my final lap of Q2, and I did have a little slide coming out of the final corner, so that's not really going to have helped my lap time much. A bit of a slide there as well. This has not been a good lap so far. Okay, I went pretty good through there though, I think. Gained a bit of time. And judging by the laps everyone's done, I don't think I'll even need this lap, but I want it anyway. And I think me and Hayes, by the looks of it, should both be through to Q3, which will be good. So I'm about 5/10 up on that lap, so that puts me in 4th, which is pretty good. And me and Sonny Hayes are both through to Q3. So I've got 2 fresh sets of soft to use here in Q3, so let's hope for 2 good laps here. Felt like I braked early into that, but I meant late, but it was actually a bit early, I think. Pretty decent through there, a little slide on exit, but not too bad. Well, that felt good through there. Not bad through there at all. Had to ease off the gas a little bit though, because I felt like I might be about to slide. That was good through there though, I kept it really tight. Probably could have been a bit quicker through there. Shifted up a bit late as well. Came a little wide on entry there, but I managed to tighten it up on the apex, so wasn't too bad. Now we just got the final corner, which technically isn't the final corner. That's technically the final corner. That little kink on exit, which is basically nothing. But now the run to the line, and that puts us 6th so far. So I think there's definitely room for improvement. And after everyone's completed their first laps, we are 7th. And I reckon I've got an extra 2 or 3 tenths in me, so potentially somewhere up to 5th, I think, might be on the cards. Right, now we're on our final lap of Q3, final lap of qualifying. Currently sitting in 7th place. Gained a little bit of time through there. Not loads, but just a little bit. I felt good through there last time, and that was even better this time. Even better through there as well. And better through there. I'm definitely up everywhere on this lap so far. Lost a little bit there because I only get down to third at the apex. I didn't get down to second in time. Pour through there again as well. A little wide through there, but actually it was quicker than last time, so on for a decent lap here. Said I thought I had 2 or 3 tenths in me. I've got more than 3 tenths in me so far. Let's see where this is going to put me. And it's going to put me 5th on the grid. I did say I think 5th was possible, and 5th was possible. I've managed to get 5th place on the grid. And honestly, I lost a little bit of time in a couple of places as well. So if I'd have combined both of those laps, I may have even been able to get 4th, but I'll take 5th on the grid. 5th still good. And Sonny Hayes in 9th as well, so that's good that both of us are in the top 10. Both of us got good starting positions here. So now, let's get into the Bahrain Grand Prix.
The stage is set for another enthralling race here in the Kingdom of Bahrain. A Ferrari stronghold in years gone by. Will they be able to add to their record today? We go racing today around the 3.36 miles of the magnificent Bahrain International Circuit, with 15 corners and 2 good passing opportunities into turns 1 and 4. Keep an eye out for drivers locking the front left tyre into the tricky braking zone of turn 10. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, and Oscar Piastri completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Leclerc, Joshua Pearce, and Verstappen, Hamilton, Tsunoda, Hayes, and Lance Stroll, Hülkenberg, Ocon, Carlos Sainz, and Lawson, Behrman, Hadjar, Fernando Alonso, and Alex Albon, Antonelli, Bortoletto, Gasly, and Jack Doohan rounds off the grid. With preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. And alongside me here today in the commentary box, Anthony Davidson. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? What do the final hours look like for them?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers that, some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
So this is the strategy I'm going with for this race. There's not much difference between a 1-stop and a 2-stop. It says the 1-stop's going to be about 3 seconds quicker, but I'd rather be on the softer compound of tyres and have the extra pace on the cars around me. And this also gives me a bit more manoeuvrability if there's a safety car. And I've overfueled by 0.7 laps, and that was about right in Japan, so I'm hoping it'll be about right here. So let's get to the grid for the start of the Bahrain Grand Prix. The lights are on here for the start of the Bahrain Grand Prix. And we're off. That's a decent start, but Russell's a bit slow ahead of me and Leclerc was next to me, not able to go anywhere. So Verstappen's had a great start as well. There's quite a few cars ahead of me, 3 wide into turn 1. They've all got a bit of a collision. I've gone into neutral there by accident, but I've just managed to salvage it. A lot of spin in there as well. My God, that was close with neutral there. That was a bit of a tetchy moment. Is that even the right use of the word tetchy? I don't even know. I'm too concentrated to think about that, but that's actually turned out to now be not a great start for me because I have dropped down a place, but actually was just an incredible start for Verstappen. Verstappen came out of nowhere. It was somewhere like 6th on the grid, and I think is now up in 3rd. I got Hamilton behind me on hards, so me being on softs, I do want to create a bit of a gap to him. Try and use a decent amount of battery along here, try and get him out of DRS, but don't think I've managed to do so. But I'll have the DRS on Russell and Piastri, but I won't get it until the next straight. And actually, I don't think I'll get it at all because when I was at the activation point, DRS hadn't been activated. I'm not sure. And I will get the DRS here. So I'll be able to stay with these cars ahead, and the ones behind me I've dropped off a little bit, especially Hamilton. He was right behind me before that last corner of the lap, and now Tsunoda and Hayes have both overtaken him. Still got the DRS on Piastri on this straight here. Yuki Tsunoda is right behind me. Kind of want to keep him out of the DRS, and I want to stay with Piastri and Russell here. I think Tsunoda's going to get the DRS on me here. I've put a bit of battery on, but don't think it would have been enough. Piastri and Russell fighting right ahead of me though. They're keeping me quite close and keeping me in their DRS, which is very useful. Don't think I'm going to be able to overtake either of them though. So I'm just going to ease off from Russell here. Not even going to try the overtake. I think I would have just lost myself too much time and ended up not even making it. I've dropped about a second back from Russell now though, so don't know if I'll actually get the DRS here. I hope I do, but I'm not sure. And I'm not going to, and Tsunoda has it on me behind, so I need to catch up with Russell here so I can get it on the next straight. Yeah, I've caught up with Russell a bit through there, but Tsunoda has caught up to me as well. He is right behind me, so I'm really going to need a DRS here if I want to have any hope of keeping Yuki behind me. Actually, I'm not even going to bother using battery here. He had a better exit out of there. He's going to go past me. No point even fighting it. Not even going to try and go back down the inside. He's in a quicker car than me. I'll just let him go and then try and settle into 7th. Liam Lawson up into 9th as well. What happened to Hamilton? Is he either been really slow or has he crashed or something? Oh, a bit slidey there. Now I can see, I think he's behind Lawson. So he's obviously had just a difficult time on those hards. I think Tsunoda's going to be out of my DRS range here, so I'm not going to get it on him. Yep, so now I'm without the DRS, but Sonny Hayes is behind me on the mediums in an equal car, so hopefully they'll keep him a bit slower so he can't overtake me, but Lawson has just overtaken him. But I do have a quicker car than Lawson, so hopefully I can keep him ahead, him behind even. Hamilton now back up into 9th past Lawson, so maybe those hards are starting to come into their own a little bit more now. Sonny Hayes is catching up to me quite significantly now because I'm having to do a bit of fuel saving. And I think these softs are starting to go off a bit. Well, Hamilton's past Sonny Hayes now, so can have him coming after me. And I think those hards are in a better place than these softs right now, as evidenced by that. Now I'm getting a bit of queue of cars behind me because that was a bit slow through that section. Hamilton is right behind me here. Kind of hoping he tries to move into this corner, but he's not going to. Can't hoping he try to move, so I could back off and get the DRS down here, but that's not going to happen. He'll probably just move on me down here and overtake me, but I'm not going to fight it. I put the DRS on Hamilton though, because he overtook me before the detection point. So hopefully I can stay with him enough that I can have DRS on the next straight. He needs a bit of battery along here just to make sure I do stay with him. Deep into there though, got my braking all wrong. Very twitchy coming out of there as well, a lot of wheel spin. Bit of battery down here as well to make sure I get DRS on Hamilton on the next straight. Just about going to do it, I think. But now Sonny Hayes is right behind me and he's going to overtake me. I think my softs at this point in the race aren't very good. Going to get in his slipstream though. They're massive fuel saving going into this corner. But I've got Albon 4 seconds behind, so at least he's not too close, and he is also on softs, so he'll probably be having the same issues I am. I have dropped out of DRS range of Sonny Hayes now, so just need to maintain this gap to Albon behind until my pit stop. I'm going to be honest, I am really struggling at this point in the race. Every car is quicker than me at the minute, I think. Well, maybe not every car, but certainly the ones near me are. So I think we're about to come on to lap 17, which is my pit stop lap, so going to use plenty of battery on this lap to try and get as quick of an in-lap as I can. To have Albon right behind me. I just managed to keep him out of DRS range while doing my fuel saving as well, which wasn't easy. I think I'm going to need to do quite a lot of fuel saving for the rest of the race. I think I've underfueled a little bit too much. It's got my battery on all the way down this straight as well. Managed to create a little bit more of a gap to Albon during that. Now going to come across into the pit lane for our first pit stop of the race. And that's a slow pit stop. That's not good. So that's a 4.8 second stop. That's going to slow us down a bit. And I've been coming out near the back of the field with this pit stop. I was quite slow for about half that stint on the soft, so hopefully I can improve on this stint. And because of that, I think I'm going to try and extend on these mediums. The softs aren't great, so I'm going to try and extend these mediums as much as I can. I think my pit stop's around lap 40, so if I can go a few laps longer, that would definitely help. Now I'm pretty close to Hajar here, so should have the DRS on him for the main straight, but he has pulled away a bit there. So I might need to use a bit of battery to overtake him here. Never mind, he's going into the pits, so I won't need to overtake him. Use a bit of battery now though to get past the cars coming out the pit lane. I need to go quick in the opening part of this stint, so hopefully I can perform an undercut on someone or create a bigger gap to the cars that were behind me, like Albon, who's now 4.5 seconds behind. And at the pit stop was something like 2 seconds or 1.5 seconds. People are stopping, so got the battery on to get as far past them as possible. Don't even know it was people I'm in a fight with, but we'll do it anyway. So Hamilton's coming in for his stop. He was someone who was ahead of me, and he's going to remain a fair amount ahead of me by the looks of it. But that's an early stop considering Hamilton started on the hards, so it's an interesting strategy from Ferrari, which is typical of them. But just keeping an eye on Albon here. He is the car behind me, but I'm hoping his tyres go off before he gets close enough to me. Hoping I can keep him far enough behind that his tyres will go off before he's in DRS range. It's been even less happening in this race than there was in the one in Japan. Not much to talk about so far. I'm just driving around, fuel saving, battery saving, and keeping Albon behind. Just seen Sonny Hayes is coming in for his first stop of the race. Or probably his only stop of the race actually. He's probably on the one stop. And I've gone past him, so I'm up into 8th, but that probably won't last.
Box this lap, please. We need to get you onto new tyres and move on to a different strategy.
No thanks. I've not been on those tyres that long, so there's not even a strategy for me that he's suggesting.
You have to stop once now. One stop left.
I definitely didn't even say that either.
Until your pit window opens. Pit window opens in 10 laps.
Right, so why did you tell me to stop now then if my pit window's in 10 laps? I think Albon's tyres are going off a bit now, because even with lift and coast in like most braking zones, I'm still gapping him.
The car behind is dropping back by about 0.3 a lap. Well done.
And there is the confirmation of what I was saying. I want to try and save quite a lot of fuel so I can push pretty hard in the final stint and not really have to do much fuel saving. So I'm trying to save the fuel now so I can push at the end.
Your pit window opens in 5 laps time. 5 laps.
Okay, so I think that's lap 39, my pit stop then. So I want to try and extend that to maybe 42, 43. So even after about, I think maybe 9 or 10 laps before, the softs felt horrible. So I don't want to do too many laps on them, but I also don't want to compromise myself by having really bad mediums at the end of this stint. But my mediums are starting to struggle a little bit.
Gap to your teammate behind, 16.0 seconds.
Okay, so Sonny Hayes is 16 seconds behind. My pit stop will cost me, what, 25 seconds? So being on the softs at the end and him presumably being on the hards, I might be able to catch him. Norris is out. Oh my God. That's going to move us up a position then. And also, a safety car wouldn't be the worst thing right now. I'd have to go on the hards, but it would save me time. But I don't think there's going to be one. But Norris, he'd have been up near the front somewhere. Don't know if he would have been leading, but I think he started on pole, so he definitely could have been. That's big for the championship. And now drivers are pitting, so it's a good job there's not going to be a safety car, I think, because these are all pitting right now. So I'm up into 4th place now because of them pit stops, but I will lose those positions again. And I don't know if Albon's pitted as well, because he's not either of the 2 cars behind me. So this is meant to be my pit stop lap, but my tyres feel okay. They're not great, as you can see there, but that's my fault for putting the power down a little bit too much, but they're definitely better than the softs were at the end of the first stint. So I'm going to extend this stint a couple laps.
Don't forget, box this lap.
I think I will forget, actually, Mark. Got Piastri on me now. He's looking to overtake me, but couldn't quite manage it there, so I'm going to be slowing him down around this section, because I'm definitely slower than him. He'll probably have me on this straight, though, I would have thought. And I'm just going to ease off so he can have plenty of room to go around me, and I'll get a bit of fuel saving. Hopefully if I stay close enough down here, I'll have
Keep an eye on your distance.
DRS on the next straight though. Okay, I've got DRS on Piastri, so I'm going to make this lap my pit stop lap because I want a really good in lap, so I can use Piastri here to really help me get a quick in lap. Well, that's not good for my in lap. I think I got a bit too much in the dirty air. I want to DRS along this straight as well, but not going to get it here. Well, that was a really poor in lap. I wanted to make the most of Piastri's DRS to really help me, but didn't really work.
Okay, go, go,
Okay, it wasn't a slow stop that time at least. So coming up behind me is Antonelli here. And we've come out in 8th place, and Antonelli's on fresh mediums, I think, so I have the tyre offset at the minute, and Albon is 3 seconds behind on hards, so should be able to keep both these behind, at least for a few laps. Oh my god, I've gone really deep into that corner. That was pretty poor, but I want to pull away from Antonelli, get out of the DRS range, and I think I've managed it.
Tyre condition still looking good.
I've only just put him on, I hope so. And I've just noticed Sonny Hayes ahead of me on the hards, and he's only 2.2 seconds ahead, so I should be able to catch my teammate here. So I'm getting pretty close to Sonny Hayes here, but just outside of DRS range, so on the next lap I should get it. Or later in this lap, actually. And when I said later, I meant literally in this next DRS zone here. I'm quite close to him now. I don't know, I might be able to make a move in the next corner on him. Well, not this one, I meant the one at the end of this straight. But he's had a better exit than me out of there. Yeah, I'm going to ease off a bit. I don't think I'll be able to make it into this corner. I had too much wheel spin on the exit of the last one. He's had a better exit than me out of there, so just need to keep it close to him and then I'll get him on the next straight. Yeah, and I am close to him here. So on the next straight, I should have him. Get a bit of battery on. Won't need too much of it though. That was just a little bit before the DRS opened. Now I've got the DRS open. Going to move on the inside, almost touched there, but I have got the move just about made. Well, let's do it without a battery, and I managed to do it without the battery, but going to need the battery here because he'll have DRS on me, so just going to use a little bit to keep him behind, and then we'll pull away through this section because this section is really where I'm like a lot quicker than him, where the tyre offset really shows itself, even though I went quite slow through there actually. Hopefully he slows down Antonelli a bit though. Hopefully Antonelli doesn't get past on this straight, but Antonelli's quite close to him, so I'm sure on the next straight he will get past him. And Antonelli's not made it past him, so he's doing a great job for the team here. Now I'm the quicker car and I'm in front. He's holding up Antonelli for me. Great teamwork here from Sonny Hayes. I've got Russell 16 seconds ahead on hards, and I haven't been looking at the timing screen, but I'm probably quicker than him, but I don't think I'll be able to catch him up in 10 laps. So now I've just got to look behind me and aim to keep Antonelli behind if he gets past Hayes. But Hayes doing a magnificent job keeping Antonelli behind for me, so I'm able to pull away. And I spoke too soon because Antonelli's passed now, but Hayes did cost him about a second, so that's good work from him. Right, we're into the final 5 laps now, and Antonelli's about 2.6 seconds behind me, and a sort of where he's been hovering around the 2.5 second mark, and that's where I want to keep him, but my fuel is getting dangerously low, so I really need to manage my fuel at this point. And I just realized in the turn 1 I didn't lift and coast, so I've got to make sure I do that because otherwise I will run out of fuel because it is quite low now. And since I said about my gap to George Russell, it's not really changed at all, so I at least thought I'd gain on him a little bit, but nope, we've been lapping about the same pace that whole time. I've just realised I think Hayes has dropped outside of the points because that dot, that white dot a couple of cars behind us is Ocon in 9th, then there's an Aston Martin in front of him there, so I think Hayes has dropped back into 11th, so the 1 stop really not worked for him. So I'm glad I went for the 2 stop today. Seems like it's been the right strategy. I did start 5th and I think I'm going to finish 7th, but the 1 stop could have dropped me back even further. And I don't think I would have been able to stretch that medium stint for a 1 stop anyway. I was struggling a little bit by the time I pitted on the 2 stop, so on a 1 stop I would have been struggling even more. Antonelli's dropped back a bit now, but my fuel is also in the red, so I got to start lift and coast on most corners now. But that's fine, I'd still be able to bring it home. He's 3 seconds behind, I've got plenty of time in hand. I've got plenty of battery to make up for it as well, so shouldn't be too much of an issue. But Antonelli and Ocon must be fine because Antonelli has dropped back a significant amount. Yeah, that was a big lift and coast there. That should do me, to be honest. Now got to hope I can keep Ocon behind, but with his gap and the amount of time left, I think I should be all right, even if he is on pretty fresh softs. Right, I did plenty of fuel saving on that lap because this one I'm coming up to is the last lap, and I want to get my fastest lap of the race, so I don't want us to do any fuel saving. Set a green sector 1. And Max Verstappen has won the Bahrain Grand Prix. And I got a lot of wheel spin out of there, so that's definitely not going to help with my lap time. I think I probably just put the battery on a little too early. Well, it was still green sector 2, so maybe it's not hurt me too badly. And we are coming up to the line now to bring it home in 7th place. So that's a decent race for us. And I think the 2-stop was the better strategy because Sonny Hayes dropped out of the points completely. And I think we would have suffered a similar fate if we'd have gone on a 1-stop. I might have still got points, but I don't think I would have finished as high as 7th.
And in the end, there was no Verstappen. Max Verstappen, he takes victory.
And that's 2 wins in a row now, of course, Crofty. And it marks the fact that it's not a fluke. So, you know, their head's in the right space. What more can we see going forwards?
And once all the hard work is over, and after lap of brilliant racing, it's time now to celebrate with our podium trio. And for those that have missed the Dutch national anthem, fear not, it's back again, because Max Verstappen is back on the top step.
So there we are, we do finish in 7th. You saw Hamilton and Piastri completing the podium. Probably would have been Norris, but obviously he retired, so it's good for Hamilton and Piastri, I guess. And maybe Verstappen. Norris might have been leading, so Verstappen might have inherited the win. But that has meant we've been able to finish in 7th, would have finished 8th otherwise. And looking at everyone there, the only person on the 1-stop was Sonny Hayes, so that definitely hasn't worked out for him. Ocon, Antonelli and Alonso as well. They both made big places on the 2-stop. But I was definitely right to go soft, medium, soft as well, because me and Albon were pretty close for the first 2 stints, and then in the final stint, he went on the hards, and he's finished 20 seconds behind me. So I was contemplating the hards after that first stint on the softs, but I think extending on the mediums and going on to the softs later, so I was on them for less time, definitely worked out. So I think I adjusted the strategy well there after a poor opening stint. So I'm pretty happy to finish in 7th place. It's just unfortunate Hayes couldn't get any points and only finished 11th. Now after that race we have a personnel facility event, so let's go look at this. So it looks like there's been some interdepartmental friction between the aero and chassis department. So with these 2 options, one is probably going to damage the morale of the aero or damage the morale of the chassis department. So I'm going to try and protect the aero department's morale. And the quality of life improvement facility upgrade for the engineering has completed. And now I'm going to buy the 3D printing prototyping upgrade to reduce the time it takes to research upgrades by 25%. And now I have 3,000 resource points as well, so I can research a couple upgrades. And the first one I'm going to research is the forward floor fences for the front downforce, and hopefully they'll be researched just after the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. And in the chassis department, I'm going to research the energy store cells positioning, and hopefully they'll be researched just before the Miami Grand Prix. And now I can afford one more upgrade, and I'm going to improve my ERS with the rotor speed upgrade in the powertrain department. And the time frame on that is the same as the chassis upgrade. And now I'm able to enter early talks with Joshua Pearce, but I don't think this really does much other than show me his demands. So from what I remember from Sonny Hayes' demands, Joshua Pearce's vehicle performance and engineering workforce demands are actually higher, but the fan rating one is lower, I think. So be interesting to see if Joshua Pearce will sign, because the vehicle performance ranking is 5th at the minute, and that's what he wants. So hopefully he will sign if I want to sign him back. But now we have made it to the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So just before I end the episode, I'll show you the standings. So we're currently sitting 5th in the constructors, with Joshua Pearce in 8th in the driver's standings and Sonny Hayes in 11th. And looking at the constructors, we're only 10 points behind Mercedes because Antonelli really isn't pulling his weight. So if Pearce and Hayes can keep scoring decent points, I might be able to keep pace with Mercedes and stay fairly close to them. And also with that win in Bahrain, Verstappen now leads the championship, and Norris is down to 2nd after scoring no points with that DNF. But now that is where I'm going to end this episode, and it was a decent episode. The race might have been a bit boring because not much happened, but we did manage to bring it home in 7th. So that's a decent amount of points for us. So if you enjoyed this episode, leave a like. If you want to carry on watching this series, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.